All right, good morning. This is Sports for Real Coach Hall. I see Selmo Fudd in the house. What's going on, Selmo? I had to ask the question right away. Did Gabriel do enough to impress you to keep his job? JC, how you doing? Navoya Brown, how you doing? Um, got a little like I'm starting on time today, so we're about 30 minutes in today. It'll be great. A lot of good games over the weekend. I don't know what the hell wrong with the Ravens, but look like it's about to be a change of foot. If they don't hurry up and turn around, um, injuries. There's no excuse to get beat like you did against Houston. Houston is not that good of a football team, and I don't think Kansas City is as good as what they beat them. But we'll find out about two teams tonight. You got the Chiefs coming into Jacksonville. Jacksonville looking for respectability by beating a known team like the Chiefs, and the Chiefs looking to show that last week wasn't a fluke. So it'll be interesting to see how this goes. Yeah, I thought Dylan, yeah, he was better than Flacco at managing the game, but there's a flaw that I noticed with Gabriel. He's getting a lot of his passes knocked down, and that's not good. The team's going to see the tape, and he's going to just get in the passing lane and try to swat all his balls down. I thought he was taller than what he is, and that could be a problem for him later on. But yeah, I thought he played pretty well. I thought he played like I thought he would to manage the game. He didn't make any major mistakes, and he got the offense moving efficiently. So, like I've been said before, Shador, he's been outplayed in camp. As many followers as he has, nobody's really seen what's going on. So as good as he may be, evidently he's getting outplayed by Gabriel. Gabriel did all right. Looked like he was on the winning drive or tied the clock and ran out. Well, he had a shot, but he didn't really have enough time to do anything with that. I think the guy last night, Drake May, he played pretty well. But Buffalo, he keep turning the ball over like that, and they're not going to beat anybody like that either. But that was a little bit uncharacteristic for them. And even the game started out, both teams fumbling the ball. You knew something was about to happen. But if you look at the whole of the whole weekend, you could possibly label that as upset weekend. Penn State losing to UCLA of all people, and Buffalo losing to New England. And there's a couple other games in there that could be classified as upsets. But I want to start off today talking about a little high school football. I went to a game the other night, and two bad teams, but it was an opportunity for each team to get one. And I figured the game would probably turn in the fourth quarter like it did, but not to the extent that I thought I was going to see. One team just happened to be weaker than the other simply because of the approach that they have. They're trying to do the wrong thing. They're trying to do the same thing everybody else is doing. Remember I tell you guys about Mike and Ike? Well, this is what this guy is trying to do, the same thing everybody else is doing, but you don't have the personnel to run shotgun spread and that kind of offense. Hell, you don't even have a center to get the ball back to the quarterback 9 times out of 10, or at least strong enough, and insist on sticking with that. Well, the game turned in the fourth quarter. The other team, they got a couple of turnovers and some scores, and they were up like 32-6 with about 5 minutes left in the game. They get the ball back, and they steady throwing bombs. Bomb after bomb after bomb, and they were beating the guy. And when the quarterback scramble, he's running out of bounds. Remember, you up damn near about 30 points with a couple minutes left. Why are you running out of bounds? Why are you still throwing it deep? They kept on doing it. And what ended up happening was they scored, and tempers were flaring. And they got the ball back, and they kept trying to do the same exact thing. And I'm sitting here thinking, why is this guy trying to embarrass somebody? He's not having a good season. How would he like it when one of these other teams that's beating him half to death continues to put more points on the board against him? And at the end of the game, they didn't shake hands because it was going to be a fight on the field. But I have to congratulate the losing coach in this one, because if it's me and you got me down by 30 points with 4 minutes left and you still throwing bombs, okay, no problem. I'm blitzing 9 people. So what if you get it deep? You're gonna beat me deep anyway. If I just play base coverage, if you beat me by 150 points, somebody on your team is gonna know they were in a football game, and that's gonna be your quarterback. And I wouldn't give a damn about none of that crap about you shouldn't do this or shouldn't do that. We're gonna hit him, and we're gonna hit him with 2 or 3 people at the same time. And the next play, we're gonna do the same damn thing. So you can't blame me for blitzing when you steady trying to throw deep when there's no need to. So I congratulate this coach for not doing what I would have done. And it would have been obvious to anybody else if you're getting beat by 30 points and the guy steady throwing bombs, I'm gonna hit that quarterback. And I wouldn't give a damn if he broke his jaw or whatever happened to him, because that's on the coach's fault. That's the other coach's fault. He had no business doing that. And I think his job should be up for review in a situation like that. So I say to you in the question, is sportsmanship dead? Or what responsibility is it that other coach to make the game, how should I say it? What responsibility is it to hold a score down against a weaker opponent? That's the question. I think that in high school, I think he's got a great responsibility to keep the score down. But if you're in college, a little less so, and in the pros, then hell, you're getting paid to get beat like that. But in high school, if you're up by 30, I think it's criminal to be trying to throw deep when you don't have to throw deep when you're up by 30 points with a couple of minutes left. So I like to hear what you guys have to say about that. But that's only one part. Well, a punk like you, Mingala, whatever the hell your damn name is, once you come on down here to Florida and show your face and get on, matter of fact, get on the internet with me and let's have a conversation. But you know, you're a punk because you're sitting there high behind this screen. You and hoes just like you, all you do is sit in there and badger somebody because we can't see your face. But you know, in public, you won't do nothing. I bet you go home, if you got one, I bet your woman run you 100 ways towards Saturday. So don't come on my channel, come here talking that crazy stuff. Yo, punk, that's what you are. Get me off my, I shouldn't respond like that, but I'm going to do it anyway. And sorry about that, Sal Moore and the rest of you guys. But anyway, I still think that it's a responsibility for an opposing coach to hold the score down in the high school level, because you're still talking about kids here. Now, the other side of that, well, it might be dying out. I think you got a somewhat of a point there. I think football is on the way out because what they're trying to do is legislate the contact out of football. And if you legislate the contact out of football, then you really don't have football anymore. And I was disheartened to find out last week that they won't let teams practice if the wet bulb temperature gets too high in September in Florida. But when the game happens on Friday night, if the wet bulb temperature gets too high, they don't stop the game. So you help me figure this out. We can't practice in it, but we can play in it. I'm not ready to play because I couldn't practice in it. So how the hell do you expect me to safely participate in the game if I can't practice in certain conditions? It don't make a lot of sense to me. But the other thing I want to talk about concerning high school football, Sherman Williams, if you remember him, he used to play for Alabama in the early 90s, and he was a backup running back for Emmitt Smith with the Cowboys in Dallas. And he had a pretty good career. And he kind of like faded out of the limelight, but now he's resurfaced. What he is now is a we need to stick to the game unless, okay. Well, I won't go too deep into that, but I understand what you're saying there, Gem City. But I think that football needs to they need to make a decision. Either going to let them play football or not. And if you're not going to let them play, then, you know, I don't want to see this whitewash crap. So I understand exactly what you're saying. Yeah, there was a lot of upsets this weekend, but let me finish my point about this high school thing. Now, I just told you about this one team that was throwing bombs on a team when they're up by 30 with a couple of minutes left in the game. Well, Sherman Williams is now the head football coach of Murphy High School in Alabama. Sherman was down 73-0 at halftime. And I told you guys before that the coaching is so bad and the schemes are so offbeat in high school that if it wasn't for the running clock, teams will get beat by 100 points on a consistent basis. I had just said this last week. Now I see the story on Sherman. He's down 73-0. So he goes into the locker room and he has a conversation with the players. They come out on the field and they get beat 100-0. They got beat 100-0 because Sherman refused to have a running clock. You know, once you get down by X amount of points in Florida, it becomes automatically. You don't have a choice. And it's for the safety of the players because, you know, when you get down by 50 points or so, your team's going to stop competing anyway. And he looked his players in the eyes, he said, and they said they didn't want to quit. They want to keep on playing. So he refused to have a running clock. That's Alabama. Florida, again, you can't do that. But he's been criticized for allowing his team to get beat like that. And he said he let them play because he trusted them and he loves them. So he's getting bashed for getting beat like that. But at the same time, for the situation he's caring about his team, he's also being praised. I love my teams too, but I don't think I want to let them sit there and get beat 100-0. I'm trying to get up out of there, minimize as much damage as possible because regardless of what he's saying, they're going to have to live that down. It's going to be hard for them to live that down. And as you know, kids are cruel. And even in their own school, they're going to get a harsh treatment from their own classmates. And people in the community is not going to let them live that down. So I think I would have cut my losses and try to get out of there as less as possible. But he let them keep playing and ended up losing 100-0. But I would rather have a guy like Sherm who talked with his players and got the rapport with his players to make a decision. And what they didn't tell you is they probably made a pact that they're going to put the work in and they're going to turn that program around. And that same team that whipped them 100-0, oh, they'll see them again. And the reason why I say that, because this team here right now is like one of the best teams in that class in Alabama. And the other reason I say that, going back to Emmitt Smith again, when he was in high school, they beat a team like 93-7. Well, a couple of years later, after Smith and all his great teams were gone, the other team now had the stick. And he whipped that team 93-0. And when they interviewed him after the game, well, why you beat the team like that? He said, well, I was an assistant on the team that got beat 93-7, and I never did forget that. And we want to let that school and that team know what it's like to get beat in a situation like that. So in other words, he's saying, turnabout is fair play. You got me today, but I'll see you again. Just like this team that was throwing bombs against the other team with 3 minutes left in the game, they'll see him again. And eventually the talent will turn. And then we'll see how you handle it when you start to get beat the same way. And I think it was honorable for the guy to step up and say why he did what he did. Now, keep in mind, when Smith and this guy got his revenge against that school, there was no running clock. So that would have saved Emmitt Smith School from getting beat like that. And in Florida, again, it protects a lot of other schools from getting beat like that. But in Alabama, you have the choice if you want to have the running clock or not. And most coaches, they are going to take it. And I think that's great. I stopped watching like Anthem and the other shit is just nonsense. The majority doesn't. Well, I can't get into all the political stuff. I'm more into the purity of the game. You know, I hate all the sideline stuff, and people have their opinions on it, so I won't go too far with that. I don't worry about that. But anyway, Jim City, what they did, and I watch more NFL. Okay, we got a conversation between Joe King and Jim City here. Okay, I know what you're saying, but I love the game of football, so I guess I just overlook that and enjoy the game. It's bad when political stuff gets into the game. Well, politics can destroy a lot of stuff, and that's why I say I'd rather just deal with the game aspect of what's going on. What the hell is this early in the morning?
Burgundy Lexus, and the bad park in the SRO parking lot. If you would please come and
But I just think that more whippings are going to come down the pipe. If they ever get rid of that running clock, you're going to see these embarrassing scores keep popping up. It's not unusual to see teams get beat like that, especially when you have personnel packing the way they're doing now at certain schools. It's becoming the haves and the have not extreme. It's always been that to a certain extent. Certain schools are known for certain things, but now the players, they know players at other places, so they're all going to the same place to build these super teams, and they're playing against teams that can get these recruits. And we're talking high school now, where recruiting is supposed to be illegal now, and there's no way that they compete and can compete under those situations. And the scores are just going to get worse. And I don't know how. I mean, it's not high school football to me if you can go and here and go there, and in the middle of the season the change. It's supposed to be about academics. In the midst of all this sports talk, nobody's saying anything about academics. So you tell me, what does it really matter? Dylan looked good. Yeah, he did look pretty good. UFC sucks too now. You may say it sucked, but get in the ring with one of them, you find out. Brown's got a lot of good rookies. They do. I like to see, again, they're going to have to put Sanders out there at some point to see how he looks. Gabriel's warranted another start, and I feel like they were going to start him whatever he did. In this game, he was going to get 2 or 3 starts just to see what he's got. But if he's getting better every time he starts, then Sanders may not never see the field this year. But like I told you guys before, the Browns lost this game, and I think they're like 1-4 now. And if they keep on losing, they're going to put Sanders out there to see what happens. And if he loses, then guess who's going to end up being the starting quarterback before the end of the year? You guessed it, Deshaun Watson. Mark my word, I've been telling you this for a couple of weeks now. Matter of fact, a long time. Yeah, I like Judkins, man. Judkins, he had like 100 yards. He had a pretty good game. And one of the touchdowns they called back. A big long run he had. Break, what's going on? The Giants defense threw the game yesterday. Dart had a rough time for the coach. Well, he's going to go anyway. He knew he was going to get fired because if you go with a rookie quarterback, you can't expect it to go on a long run. I think you take a guy like Dan Marino, he had a good run his second year. And same thing with Ben Roethlisberger. He only lost that 1-game stretch. But the longer he plays, the more the coaches get to figure out what it is you're doing. And that's Dart's problem. They've already picked up some things to slow him down. When you start and nobody has any tape on you, you can get away with some things that you won't be able to get away with that second week. And that's what happened to Dart. The last team I thought to beat the Giants, I didn't think that the Saints would be able to get by the Giants. I thought Dart would have another good game, but that's the NFL. It's not a whole lot of difference between the best team and the worst team. And even if the best team catch the worst team and you start turning the ball over, that best team is going to get beat. Nobody's immune from anything in the NFL. Even the Ravens, the way they're getting run through right now with all those injuries, who's to say that the Ravens won't right the ship and start running through people? But they had it going pretty good last year, and they were running through people. It's like I said about the high school stuff. Turnabout is fair play. You ran through people, now it's time for you to get run through. That's just the way it goes. All right, no more undefeated teams in the NFL. Well, you can't expect nobody to go undefeated now anyway. I don't think teams really care for it anymore. I think, let's just say if Philadelphia went into week 16 at 15-0, those guys start arresting players, and they'll throw a game and forget all about the undefeated thing, because the ultimate goal is to get the Super Bowl, not the undefeated championship. All right, Giants started good yesterday, but the secondary is horrible. Yeah, just about as bad as the Cowboys, but Cowboys played pretty well yesterday. The Jets look horrible. So let me ask you this, Break. I know you told me that the Jets are your team, right? What do you think they'll Break? That's a good question for you. Pittsburgh, my team was off, so we didn't have to worry about. I think we got the Brownies this week. But, Pittsburgh come in 3-1, and the Browns, 1-4? But I've been telling you guys all along, I've been watching Pittsburgh for over 40 years. This is the kind of game that Pittsburgh will lose. So if you want to make some money, or at least cover, take the Browns next week against Pittsburgh with the points. And I guarantee you'll win some money if you don't win the whole damn game. Because this is something that Pittsburgh has been known for whether it was Chuck Noll, Bill Cowher, Mike Tomlin, it don't make no never mind. Pittsburgh has a way of blowing games that they're supposed to win. And Cleveland, they've done it to Pittsburgh a lot of times. They did it to them last year. Going to be at home in Cleveland. So Pittsburgh is on upset alert. So you heard it here first. I haven't said that Pittsburgh could run them off the field next week, but I don't think so. Pittsburgh been surviving by the hair on their chin. And you know that don't always go your way. But tonight, I'm going to be down at the Jaguar game. You know, I do that thing with Fango Media. And you know, fans like you guys, you can go to Fango Media and watch the latest videos, and you see all the reports from the other games where fans have something to say about their teams. And I'm the correspondent here in Jacksonville. I don't work officially with the Jaguars, but I be out there and I be talking to fans, and I get some good stuff. A lot of times they say stuff that's right on. A lot of times they say stuff that's kind of off the wall, and I think it's great. And I'm not really wild about being out there 12 o'clock at night when I got to get up and go to work the next morning. So I don't know if I'm gonna be able to make it in the morning, man. If I do, I'll be dragging. And but no, I'll be up in the morning, and I'll be back on about 6:30 like I was today. And I have a good report from you from the Kansas City Jaguars game. This is a respect game for Jacksonville. They want to announce to the world that our 3-1 record is not a fluke. So getting by Kansas City would be a feather in the cap, and a statement to the AFC South that they're here to win that division. The Colts, they run off the Raiders yesterday, so they're going to have to keep track with the Colts. And I don't know if you know it, but when the Colts come down in Jacksonville, they can't win. They've lost like 11 straight years here. And I call it the Ursay curse. You know, they floated the idea of moving the Colts here back in '79, and they pulled the rug on them. And I think that's the Jacksonville curse that's hanging over the Colts' head when they come in. All right. No more undefeated team. Read that. Giants started. Jimmy MC. You want to see Shador a ticket. And I think Gabriel played well enough to earn a couple more starts. Now, how he plays second game, remember, they didn't have any tape on him either. Now that they have tape on him, they're going to know that this guy have trouble getting the ball over the line. So if Pittsburgh, they're already forcing a lot of turnovers. If they can force this guy into some turnovers and squat that ball down at the line, then Pittsburgh should be able to take command. But like I said, this is the kind of game that Pittsburgh loses. A team like the Browns get knocked off. Just like San Francisco, everybody was sure Frisco was going to lose against the Rams. And lo and behold, what happened? Knocked them right off. All right, Brake said the Jets will be back in the draft next year. Justin Fields. Yeah, I'm worried about him, man. It kind of reminded me of, what's that team I saw? Kentucky. They got Jeremy Maclin's son playing wide receiver. I never seen an offensive series, 2 or 3 series, so inept as what I saw with Kentucky. The guy throwing the ball to him, they're not trying to catch the ball. They're missing easy blocks. The quarterback throwing Keystone Cop type throws. Man, I don't know what the hell that was I was watching. Maybe they were scared of Georgia. I don't know. But how do you get to be a Division I college player and you perform like that? I mean, Maclin, he had a little square in route. The man hit him in the hands, and he looked like one of them damn Pop Warner players trying to catch the ball. I ain't never seen nothing like that in college football. And you know these guys are getting paid to play now. And this is what they put on the field? Come on, man, give me a break. But that's what they got. And I can't understand it. And I saw some of that yesterday with Justin Fields and the Jets. It's almost like, well, damn, we got Justin Fields' number on my back, but is this Justin Fields really playing? Or is it some kid that stole his uniform and jumped on the field? That's what they look like. And I couldn't believe my eyes at some of the stuff that I saw from Kentucky and the Jets. And they're going to play like that. Justin Fields is subject to get cut and kicked off the team the way he played yesterday. And he didn't play that great against Miami either. He had that one long run. But other than that, I think teams have put together a plan to stop him. And I'm worried about Fields from this point, man. That's the position coach. Make them hit the jugs after the game. You need to do more than that. But I don't understand, man. I wish I had come along 30 years later. Um, I'm a high school athlete right now, especially the ninth and 10th grade, and I see what's going on in sports. And you can make this if you make the team. And man, I'm working out 3 times a day. I'm going to work out with the team. I'm going to work out in the morning before school. And then when I get home at night, I'm working out again. I am going to make it if I'm coming through the day because knowing what I know now, high school is easy. And it's even easier now when these guys packing teams. I wouldn't go over there because everybody else is running. I want to play against them because I know 9 times out of 10 I can beat this guy. The reason why they're running over there to try to get a scholarship because they're on a winning team. It's saying they look at it that way because that's where the scouts go. They want to see the teams that are winning. Well, if I'm a losing team and I'm playing against them, now I'm going to make my bones. If you look over history, that's what happened. That's how Tim Brown got on the radar. The guy from Notre Dame came there to look at some other player, but he came and dominated the game. They didn't know who the hell he was. Scholarship, Heisman Trophy, NFL. It happens just like that. So I don't want to go over there with everybody else. I want to play against the best. Because if I can dominate you, then I know I can dominate on another level. But Aaron Glenn, I don't know, man. He's off to a rough start. I think he come up with another quarterback plan because right now Fields don't seem to be the answer. Yeah, maybe that's why they didn't give him that much money. But Fields, he needs to work twice as hard as what he's doing. But right now, he don't seem to be too interested. Maybe he got something on his mind. What do you think, Break? You think Justin Fields might be in love or something, man? That's the only thing that I can see, man, because he's a better player than what I've been seeing out of him lately. And I'm starting to worry about it. So you better tighten up. Otherwise, it's going to be a problem. But Dylan Gabriel, I'm asking, did he do enough to keep the job? Most of you are saying yes. And I think that he did. Yeah, man, guys with them women problems, man, it's obvious a spot, especially in high school. Even the girls that come in with their head all down. What's wrong with you? Nothing. Yeah, right. And you keep on jugging at them, they'll tell you the truth. And it's got something to do with a relationship. And you wear it on their shoulder like a sweater. And I can see all of that. But I think that's what Fields' problem is. You see, they got that guy for the King, basketball player that's with the Brittany Renner, got the kid from her. She trying to jack him up for what's it, $50,000 a month or $350,000 a month. She's getting like $5,000 or $10,000 a month, and she say that that's not enough to live on because she see all the stuff he and his wife are posting about their lifestyle. Well, she feel like she should have the same lifestyle as he has with his wife because she's got his kid. Well, if you know anything about her whole game was to get close to these guys, to have a baby on purpose so she can live, let somebody else finance what she's doing. And she was successful at it, bragged about how easy it is. Now she's not getting enough money, so she's going to take him back to court and try to hit him up for some big money. And she's going to get a good chunk of it, if not all, but that's the way the system is. And knowing how the lay of the landscape is, hey, he's sucker enough to get himself in that situation, then so be it. All right, I'd like to see Myles Garrett make the playoffs, so he's on a new contract. But man, well, he couldn't make the playoffs, and he saw those big dollar signs. What he should have did was stuck to his guns and go ahead and get traded to a team that can help that he can help win. It's not out of the question that Cleveland couldn't win. They could come back next year and be the top dog. That's the way. That's just how fast things change in the NFL. And they're not eliminated this year. But it's just going to take the offense being efficient like they were yesterday, and the defense got to hold up a little bit better. That's what the surprise was yesterday. The defense didn't hold up like they normally do. But if they can get their defense to start playing more to their capabilities and the offense is efficient like they were, Cleveland's going to be all right. Bryce Underwood, I think I've seen him once or twice. I don't have a verdict on him yet. I like to see a player play several times before I say he's going to do this or he's going to do that. It's just like picking a national champion or a college champion. I can tell you who the best teams are out there about 7 weeks with all certainty. May not get that team to hoist the trophy, but I can tell you just how deep they're going to go. So I don't have a full record on Underwood right now. Yeah, he's true freshman, and I've seen some sparks at him, but let's see how he does with the rest of the season. He got some rugged games coming up, and you get a chance to separate himself from everybody else. So we'll see how that goes. But again, most of you guys think that Gabriel did enough to keep his job. I think if he had an average performance, he was going to get a couple starts anyway. Now, if he comes out this week and he lays an egg against the Steelers, I think he'll get one more shot after that. Or once they go to their bye, then you might see Shador. So, again, it's going to happen where Deshaun Watson is going to end up getting some starts at the end of the year, and he's going to show he's probably still the best quarterback on the Browns roster. It just released Flacco at that point to open up that roster spot to bring him off IR. So it's just a matter of time. But anyway, well, I don't know about that. Jihad, how you doing, man? You always come on when I get ready to get off. Can you become a Steelers fan? Hell no, man. Because I told you guys, you have to apply to be a Steeler membership before August. Once August comes, then we got to double the price on it. And as the season goes on, then you won't be able to afford it. So I won't even want to take your money at that point, man, because you aren't true. You just want to be part of a winner, man. But Ravens, like I say, you're not dead yet. Once you get healthy and they start to believe that, you know, we can actually play this game again, Ravens will be fine. They're turning around before the end of the year. But to lose like that against Houston, that's despicable. Once he gets hit hard, we might see Sanders. But that's anybody. Everybody's only one player away. Michigan plays USC this Saturday, so we'll be able to see how he plays with a tough team. Man, let me tell you something, man. I'm a USC guy, and USC is just like Pittsburgh. They're full of crap. Ain't nowhere in the hell. After Illinois got beat 63-10, they should have never lost to Illinois. I don't care how far they had to come across country. That's not a team they're supposed to lose to. And to lose to Illinois after getting beat by 53 points, that is insulting. So you don't know what you're going to get with USC. They played Michigan last year. They didn't have a quarterback. They had no business losing to Michigan last year. They didn't have no business losing to Minnesota and a couple other teams they lost to. USC is just full of it. You don't know what you're going to get until the game gets there. And then you're going to start seeing them in the first quarter. That'll tell you everything you know about how these games are going to go with USC. But anyway, Ravens will make a wild card. Yeah, they'll make a wild card. You go down to the casino and have the man deal you some cards, and maybe you get a joker card, and maybe that'd be a wild card. That's the only wild card they're going to get. And I tell you another thing, if you want to get the Ravens to the playoffs where they're playing, just go get the latest copy of John Madden. Put it on season mode, man, and you can go to the playoffs. Lose 5 or 6 games so you can make the wild card. That'll make your prediction come true, man. That's the only way you're going to get there, man. But I'm just trying to let you know. But, yeah, I think Gabriel is deserving of another start, but it's going to be a little bit more rough for him because now we got him on tape. We know what he's going to do or what he might or what he can't do. So it'll be obvious at this point. And I think his biggest problem is he getting a lot of passes knocked down at the line of scrimmage, and that's going to be a problem for him. He's just very small. And if you've seen the handshake line when he's shaking hands with Carson Wentz, he look like Wentz like a giant compared to Gabriel. And that's when I realized, damn, I didn't think he was that small. And that's going to be his I'm just messing with you, man. But anyway, you guys have a great day, man. The bell rang. I got to go sign in and go to work. I'll be surrounded by kids in a minute. And I like it. I like my job. So anyway, there's some breaking news. I'll try to come back on. Matter of fact, I will come back on tonight because when I'm down here waiting to do this report with the Jaguars, I have a lot of dead time. So what I'll do, right about halftime, I'll go live and give a report from what's going on at the Jaguar Stadium before I do my little video thing. And once the video comes out, I'll post it on the link. That way you can check those videos out. But if I don't have a link today, but just go to Fango Media and watch the latest videos, and you can hear what fans for your favorite teams has to say about your team. So in the meantime, you guys have a great day, and catch you guys on the flip side.